Something has changed. You may not be able to put your finger on it, but you feel it. The bank is different than it used to be. The rules are different. The way money moves is different. In February of 2022, ordinary people donated $10 million to truckers protesting a vaccine mandate. Within days, the government made a call, and the money disappeared.
We know the way through this pandemic is by getting everyone vaccinated.
This wasn't the first time. In 2021, one of the most followed doctors on the internet had his PayPal permanently shut down.
A group called the Center for Countering Digital Hate says there is a group of 12 influential anti-vaxxers, and the first name on that list is a Chicago-born and trained physician by the name of Dr. Joseph Mercola.
No appeal process in sight. A teenager awaiting trial has his legal defense fund canceled overnight.
Big tech platforms that have used the cancel culture mantra, we're just going to cancel people, instead of making the hard decision of saying, hey, how do we navigate this well in the middle?
PayPal, GoFundMe, Patreon, your bank. One call, one policy update, one flag on your account. And it has nothing to do with the left or the right. It has everything to do with who holds the off switch. Here's what that looks like underneath. When you open up a bank account, you give them your money, but they loan it out. They invest it, and they charge you fees to access it. And in exchange for all of that, they hold it in trust for you until they decide not to. Banks aren't neutral. They're businesses. Businesses have customers and regulators. Regulators answer to governments. Governments answer to politics. Your money sits at the bottom of that system, and it's only as safe as the people above you decide it should be. So what's the alternative? Well, that's why I want to tell you about Bitcoin. And I know what you're thinking. You've heard the name. Maybe you've rolled your eyes. Maybe you watched the price bounce around and thought, whatever this is, it's not for me. That's for tech guys and speculators. But give me 2 minutes. Bitcoin has been around longer than the air fryer. Did you know that?
The air fryer with quick cook turbo heat technology.
It launched in 2009 when the iPhone was on version 2. While millions of people were figuring out how to download an app for the first time, a parallel financial system was being built from scratch. Here's the simplest way that I can put it. Think of the US dollar as a river flowing through a dam. The dam is the Federal Reserve, the banking system. These institutions control the flow. They can open the floodgates and print more at any time. They can restrict it. The river runs through institutions that can redirect it, dam it up, or decide your farm doesn't get water this season. Now Bitcoin is more like rain. It falls directly. No dam, no institution in the middle. No permission required, just falls right there on your property. What it actually is money that runs on math and computers, not banks, not governments, on math and on code. Now, I'm sure you've heard this before, but it needs to be re-emphasized. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin, ever. That number is written into the code and cannot be changed by any one person. For that number to be changed, you would need consensus across the entire network. Try getting everyone to agree that the sky is green at the same time. No government can print more of it. No bank can freeze it. No politician can confiscate it. It belongs to whoever holds the keys. And these keys are just information, ones and zeros. Information that you can store in your head like a password. Think of it like an umbrella. You don't carry an umbrella because you know it's going to rain. You carry it because you don't know. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Now here's what nobody tells you about where Bitcoin came from. It wasn't invented by Silicon Valley. It wasn't a startup idea. It wasn't a get-rich scheme. It was the end result of a 40-year project built by mathematicians, cryptographers, and libertarians who saw exactly where this whole world was going. In 1976, two mathematicians named Diffie and Hellman published a paper that made encrypted communication possible. That was the foundation. In 1988, a man named Timothy May wrote something called the Crypto Anarchist Manifesto. He predicted in 1988 that computer technology would allow individuals to exchange information and value without any government or institution knowing about it. In 1992, a group of these thinkers formed a loose network called the cypherpunks. Eric Hughes wrote their manifesto a year later. The opening line was, "Privacy is necessary for an open society." These weren't fringe radicals. They were people who looked at the direction the world was heading, and they decided to build an exit. For decades, they worked. Nick Szabo designed something called BitGold, a direct ancestor of Bitcoin. Adam Back built a proof-of-work system to make digital money scarce. Peer-to-peer networks were proven at massive scale by BitTorrent. The pieces were in place. They were waiting for someone to assemble them. Then came 2008. The financial system collapsed. Banks that had been around for hundreds of years evaporated overnight, not from some outside attack, but from bets they took knowing someone else would pay if they were wrong.
This idea of Bitcoin was launched just a few weeks after Lehman Brothers went bankrupt and the whole system nearly collapsed. And the problems that cropped up in the crisis were very much a part of the writings of Satoshi Nakamoto. I think what the crisis showed is that the existing system had some major flaws. It wasn't working, and people were hungry for some sort of alternative.
The government bailed them out with your money. The executives kept their bonuses. 2 months later, someone using the name Satoshi Nakamoto published a 9-page paper, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. The idea, what if there was a money that no government could print, no bank could freeze, no institution could control? Wouldn't that be better than the system that we have today? So they built it, and then they disappeared completely. Satoshi Nakamoto has never been identified. It's been tried. It's still being tried, even recently, but no one has come forward. The original wallets, worth billions today, have never been touched. Whoever they were, they built it, they released it to the world, and then they walked away. What they left behind was a running system, one that has never gone offline, not once, in over 15 years. Now, how does new Bitcoin get created if no government is printing it? That's a big question. Well, computers around the world compete to verify transactions and keep the network running. They burn electricity to do this. In exchange, they earn Bitcoin, which all sounds a bit esoteric, but stay with me. Simply, Bitcoin is energy, electricity, converted into information. Information that is secure and can be transferred anywhere around the world securely. That's it. Dollars, euro, yen. These things require all kinds of institutions to maintain their value, and they cannot easily be fungible with each other. Since Bitcoin can be transferred anywhere around the world, and every Bitcoin is the same in every single country, this makes it far better money than our current system. What makes it even greater is that there is no one party that is in charge of its production. No central bank, no printing press. It's just math. In 2009, Bitcoin was worth nothing. The following year, a programmer named Laszlo used it to buy 2 pizzas. He paid 10,000 Bitcoin for it. Those 10,000 Bitcoin are now worth hundreds of millions of dollars. We still celebrate that day today, Bitcoin Pizza Day, every May 22nd, because it was the first time Bitcoin had been used to buy something real. It grew from there, slowly, and then not so slowly. Today, it's a $1.3 trillion market. El Salvador made it legal tender. The United States is holding it in reserve. BlackRock, the largest asset manager on earth, is selling it to their clients. It went from a 9-page paper to a $1 trillion system in 15 years, built by people who were tired of waiting for permission. Now, we just watched truckers, doctors, lawyers, donors succumb to censorship and cancellation for their positions, whatever they were. That isn't a political problem. That's a structural problem. The system that holds your money was never designed to serve you first. But Bitcoin was designed specifically for this. The cypherpunks saw it coming 40 years ago. Satoshi built the solution in 2008. And what it gives you is something no bank account can offer you. Money no government can print more of. Money that no bank can freeze. Money that no politician can confiscate. Money that you actually own. And that last part matters more than most people realize. When your money is in a bank, you don't own it. You have a claim on it. There is a difference.
Now, this may come as a shock to you, but when you deposit your currency with the bank, you're not actually depositing it into an account to be safely held in trust for you. Instead, you're actually loaning the bank your currency, and within certain legal limits, they can do with it pretty much anything they please. This includes gambling in the stock market and loaning it out, at a profit, of course. Now this is where the machine of currency creation really gets cranking, because this is where something called fractional reserve lending comes into play. Fractional reserve lending is exactly what it says. The banks are allowed to reserve only a fraction of your deposit and loan the rest out.
The bank can restrict that claim. The government can redirect it. A policy update can suspend it. Bitcoin held in your own wallet is yours, not a claim, not a promise. It's yours. It's also an asset, one with a fixed supply in a world where governments can't stop printing. Over time, things with fixed supplies tend to hold value against things that can be inflated without limit. Makes sense, right? You don't have to bet your life on it. You just have to decide whether you want to be holding some of this when it matters. So where do you start? Well, you've heard about Bitcoin. You understand, at least roughly, what it is and why people who care about freedom are paying attention. Now you need a place to actually get some. This is where Rumble comes in. You know Rumble. You know what they built and why. When other platforms were deciding whose voice matters, Rumble built infrastructure with a principle. Your right to speak doesn't require anyone's permission. That's an American principle. Rumble Wallet was built for the same reason. Because your right to speak and your right to transact go together. If someone can cut off your income, freeze your donations, cut your businesses off from payments, your speech doesn't really count for much. They watch it happen to creators, to small businesses, to people who said the wrong thing to the wrong platform on the wrong day. So they built a wallet. Not to compete with banks, but to exist outside of the system those banks answer to. They built this for creators who want to get paid without a platform deciding whether they deserve it. For viewers who want to support people they believe in. For anyone who wants their money to be their business and nobody else's business. It's peer-to-peer, direct, no intermediary, no platform with an agenda in the middle. Now, I'm not asking you to go all in. I'm not telling you to move your retirement fund or make any dramatic financial decisions. You don't need to understand blockchain. You don't even need to know what a private key is. I mean, it helps, but you don't need to be an expert. But put in $5, put in 20, put in 100 if that feels right. Just get some skin in the game. Imagine going to dinner Friday night and mentioning casually, like it's nothing, that you bought a little Bitcoin this week. That's a level. That's a bar. Not a trader, not a tech guy, just someone who took a step before most people did. The question is not whether it's coming. The question is whether you have a seat at the table when it matters. Rumble Wallet was built for this. Download the Rumble Wallet using the QR code on your screen, or you can click the link in the description below. Do not get left behind, guys. Thanks.